émissions préférées, elles sont toutes sur Radio Grand Lac.
Your English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to Your English Weekly. Bonjour, chers auditeurs, et bienvenue à Your English Weekly sur le 92.1 FM, ici sur Aix-les-Bains. L'émission qui vous présente le meilleur de la langue anglaise, bien sûr avec un peu de divertissement. Je suis votre animatrice Sinead et je suis là aujourd'hui avec Tim et Klaus. Hello, guys.
Hello. Hi.
Alors, vous pouvez nous trouver sur Your English Workshop à Aix-les-Bains, La Ravoire et bientôt sur Technolac. N'oubliez pas de regarder sur notre site pour les dernières infos et pour notre inscriptions pour les enfants pour le stage d'anglais cet été. L'épisode aujourd'hui est du niveau A2, B1, avec un contenu passionnant qui non seulement améliore vos capacités d'écoute, mais aussi qui vont vous divertir tout au long de l'émission. Vous pouvez réécouter cette émission sur YouTube, sur Radio Grand Lac, sur le 92.1. Good afternoon, lovely listeners, and welcome to Your English Weekly, the show that brings you the best of the English language with culture and entertainment. I'm your host, Sinead, and I'm grateful to be here today with Tim and Klaus. Today's episode is about the Dali ship with me, which is a B2 level. And Tim, what's your episode today?
I'm doing it on wild food.
On wild food, ooh.
And how eating it affects your health.
I think we heard this morning that Naomi likes to eat dandelions.
Yes, well, actually, yeah, she didn't just come out with that.
Okay, well, you'll tell us more after.
Yes.
And this week, our axe, like every week, is to improve your listening skills. I will give you a few conjunctions that you will hear during the show, of course, with our vocabulary that will be told before. So tell me, Tim, do you have a little pun for us today?
Yes, a boiled egg every morning is hard to beat.
A boiled egg every morning is hard to beat.
Oh,
so you
that
can't. Tim, Klaus, tell us what's that about?
That was very punny.
That was very punny. Oh, okay, listeners.
This is getting too advanced.
Yeah, it's getting more and more advanced. So what does that mean, Klaus, then?
Well, the difference between punny and funny is not so big, is it? There's just one letter, no P, and no F, but a P. Funny is ha ha ha, and punny is a play on words.
Exactly, so, like the punny. Fantastic. So, well, tell us what it means then, Klaus. Do you know what Tim's pun means today? Repeat, Tim, your pun.
A boiled egg is hard to beat.
Well, I think Tim likes eating boiled eggs, but of course, once you have boiled the egg, you can't beat it anymore. So beat has a double meaning. It's not the best, or it is the best. It's difficult to do better than eating a boiled egg because they're delicious, according to Tim. But they're also hard to beat because when you beat an egg, you're mixing the egg in its liquid form so that you mix the egg yolk, the yellow part, and the egg white, the transparent or white part when it's cooked.
Fantastic. Exactly. I could not have explained that better. So, Tim, you're going to be talking today about eating wild food. So what is some of the words we're going to hear today?
So, wild food, to start.
Which is des aliments qui poussent sauvagement.
Sauvage. Health.
La santé.
Foraging.
De la cueillette.
Body mass index.
Alors, l'index de la masse corporelle.
Gut.
Alors, gut is when you have a feeling inside you, but literally you have your guts that are the boyau. So that's the literal meaning, but often we have a feeling, so we call that the gut feeling.
Microbiomes.
Les micro-organismes.
Average.
Moyen.
Mental well-being.
Le bien-être psychologique.
Tend to.
Avoir tendance à.
Bread.
Alors, bred, c'est produit. So very often, animals are bred. Les animaux, ils sont produits dans une ferme.
Élevé,
voilà, élevés.
Seasonally.
Les produits de saison.
Nettle.
Les orties.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about eating wild food.
Well, this was just a brief sort of excerpt of a study done in Scotland.
From which magazine?
It was from the Now magazine.
Okay, so listeners, we'll put that up on the website and you can find it on our website.
It's kind of related to wild food and health. So it's called the Wild Biome Project, and they have some compelling evidence about eating wild food. And the study was set up by a foraging expert called Monica Wild, who got the idea of surviving just on wild food throughout 2021. She did an experiment with 26 foragers, well, a study, living only on wild foods for between 1 to 3 months. And when they did their blood tests, their sugar levels, the BMI and their gut health came back with impressive results. One forager reduced his diabetes in 10 days, with his glucose levels going down from a diabetic 65 to a normal 40, which is that's very incredible. And gut microbiomes were tested at an average score of 52 in the beginning and were raised to an average score of 65 at the end. And also participants who were slightly obese in the beginning lost an average of 16% of their body weight. So everyone that did the study had increased energy and improved their mental well-being too.
Okay, so it's definitely something that we should be thinking about in the future.
Yeah. Well,
eating wild food.
Eating wild food. It's more nutritional density in wild food as well than farmed foods. And you can eat it seasonally, so it's good for the environment too.
Of course it is, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you. And listeners, don't forget you'll be able to find the article on the website. You'll find that from this afternoon. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the Dali ship. Do you know what the Dali ship is, Tim? Or Klaus?
Dali?
Yeah.
No idea.
No idea.
How do you spell that?
D-A-L-I. Well, the Dali ship is a ship that has just crashed into the bridge of Baltimore. Yes. Okay, so listeners, now today keep your ears open for a few conjunctions. You're going to hear, for example, despite, which means, of course, malgré. You're going to hear the next day, which means le jour après-demain. You're going to hear because, parce que, everyone knows that one. Although, même si, however, cependant, and I already told you malgré. So listen out for those words today. And also, I want you to be careful with a few words. So the word crash, which is écraser or percuter, okay? Then you're going to hear the word worker. Now, don't confuse the word worker with working or work, okay? The verb to work. And workers, c'est les ouvriers. After, you're going to hear the word breakdown, which is en panne. You're going to hear the word data recorder, un enregistrement des données. You're going to hear the word pillar, which is exactly the same in French, le pilier. Okay, so to start, where is Baltimore? Does anybody know where Baltimore is? Allez, Klaus.
Yes, I'm American, so I'll be so free as to say it's in the state of Maryland, which is close to the capital, the Washington, D.C., of course. So it's on the East Coast, pretty much in the middle. It's not in the north or the south. It's
just right in the middle on the East Coast.
On the Chesapeake Bay, which is a big mouth of the river Chesapeake, and but it's really enormous. It's kind of like La Gironde, but even bigger.
Okay, so Baltimore as we know where it is now, has the third largest bridge in America, which is called I can't remember, it'll come back to me in just a minute, which is the France Scott Key Bridge, okay? And the third largest bridge that was built in 1977 in America. And on the 27th of March this year, a big, huge tanker ship carrying containers, unfortunately, crashed into the bridge. Unfortunately, there were 8 workers working on the bridge, maintaining it and fixing potholes. Now, potholes, be careful, are called des nids de poule, okay, potholes. And the accident could have been worse if it was not thanks to the crew members who quickly did a Mayday alarm. But despite the Mayday alarm, there were 8, but 6 people perished in this. They informed the police and the Coast Guards, the workers, and told them of their breakdown with their ship, which had lost power and lost control. The bridge was very long, and the ship hit the bridge at 1:30 in the morning, and it went down very quickly. The next day, investigators went on the ship to find its data recorder, which is often known as the black box in airplanes, which is the box that keeps the important information about the journey of the boat, or a plane for that matter. So the investigators hope it will explain why the ship crashed. Many experts think that it could have lost power because it couldn't change direction. For example, there was no fuel in the motor, something like this. It has not been confirmed yet, but it's one theory. So it started off on its 27th day from Baltimore to Sri Lanka when it lost the power and it collapsed into the river Patapasuco.
Is it the French term, Patapouf?
Not the French term.
The Chesapeake?
No, it's the river that goes through Baltimore.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, so the Patapasuco, and it left the ship stuck with all the containers and 3,000 to 4,000 tons of debris, which is waste. So why did it go down so quickly? Anybody, any ideas?
We crashed, didn't it? So it sunk.
Yes, well, when it crashed into the bridge, because it hit the major pillar. And because, well, people think it was not strong enough, but I think when you compare a 93,000 tanker when it's empty, it's not quite the same, huh? Mm-hmm. So although back in 1977, when they built the bridge, of course the ships were a lot smaller and a lot less powerful than they are today. Mm-hmm. So the harbour of Baltimore is now closed because of the incident. And of course, President Joe Biden has promised that the government would pay for the repairing of the bridge. But this has left a lot of problems for the traffic because unfortunately, for both cars and boats, the officials said that they are going to try to reopen it soon at the end of May. But for all the traffic of the ships, they have the same problem between the Red Sea because of the Ukrainian war and because of weather problems through the Canal of Panama. This is causing a big mayhem for shipping and for the transport of shipping. Anyway, there we are. So despite the safety of shipping, there have been a few of these accidents. So between 1960 and 2015, there were nearly 35 like this. And with the 35 accidents, 18 happened in the US. Well, listeners, there's a lot more to say on all that, but we don't have time for today. And before I finish, I'd like to give you my little tip of the day. So it's a pronunciation tip today. And because I have a very big problem in French with the R, and I don't know how to roll my R's correctly, and I'm convinced it's harder in French than in English, but when you're pronouncing the letter R in English, one of our ways is just to lightly tap your tongue at the top of your palate, like car, like river, or like recorder, or even harbor. And you can say it crisp and clear without overemphasizing it. Anyway, I hope you have learnt more vocabulary with myself, Tim, and Klaus today, and expanded your vocabulary. Don't forget you can listen to this again on YouTube. And please come back to join us next week at the same time at 12:15 to 12:30. And we'll provide you another little lesson of different words with a different talk with myself and Tim. So thank you all from us at you. But before listening, at 5 o'clock, you've got 1 hour, one commune with Jean-Pierre. And today it's La Biole. And of course, at 7:30, à 19h30, le 16e, l'émission sur le cinéma avec Kevin, Guillaume et Vincent. Well, listeners, that's all from us today here at Your English Weekly. So, bye to you from us at you.
Your English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Radio Grand Lac, votre radio.